Hey guys, welcome back to Hot Takes and Deep Dives. This is Jess, and I'm very excited. I'm here with two amazing guests, Vicci Martinez.
Yep.
Emily Tarver.
Yep.
Guys, these are two of the main cast members on the last bunch of seasons on Orange is the New Black.
That's us.
So that's
I love that you called us main.
Yeah.
First of all, you were a main character.
You were a main.
Not financially.
Not financially. So Emily played Officer McCullough.
Mm-hmm.
What was your character's first name? We don't know.
I can say it now. Because on my uniform it said B. McCullough. And then no one let me say it until it was over. But it's Bambi.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Bam.
Bam.
And you played Daddy starting season 6.
Yes.
On the show.
Yes.
But here's the deal. I've actually followed your career from The Voice.
Really? Before even Daddy?
Way before that.
Oh, man.
I watched
That's
your...
awesome.
Because you were on, like... Was it season 2 of The Voice or season 1? Oh, my God. That was
I did go on season 2 to... I went on season 2 to perform the single, and then I went on season 8 to perform another independent project I was doing. But I was... And that's the only reason, because I was an OG, from season 1, where they let me go up and go back on and promote some new music. So that's pretty cool.
So I have legitimately, I've always known that you're from Tacoma, Washington. I have your song. I think you may have at one point done a cover of something that you released as a single, and it was on my old
Come Along.
I think so.
Was that a cover?
Well, yes, it was. So Come Along was released 10 years before I released it again by an artist named Titio. And I can't. You had that?
Yeah, it was one of those songs that you have on just a random mix.
Yeah,
I had your music 100%.
That's so crazy.
So
she's obsessed.
No, I was totally. I loved you. I absolutely loved you. I can't believe that was season 1 of The Voice.
It was.
So you were. So I'm gonna get into each of your backgrounds, and then we'll merge it together.
Okay,
let's work it out.
Because you guys are also a couple. So
yes,
these are all the facts, quick facts about you guys.
People need to know.
And now we're gonna flesh it out a little bit. Where should we start? Do you want to start with Vicki?
Yeah, start with Vicki.
I guess because I knew you first.
Yeah.
So how did you grew up a singer-songwriter?
Yes.
In Washington.
Yes.
How did you find out about The Voice?
They actually contacted me. The casting and the talent scouts. One of the people was actually from Seattle, and he knew about me, and it was really I know I just always call it hippy dippy stuff, but I literally a month before I got asked to audition, I had already done a Star Search and an American Idol thing. And I didn't.
What did you do for American Idol?
I got invited to go, but I did for the first season, and I didn't go because
season 1 of American Idol.
Yeah, with Kelly Clarkson won.
Oh, I am aware.
Yeah, and I got.
We're all aware.
I got sent the contract before I went to Hollywood, and my dad, who was alive at the time, was like, I don't think you're that good. I think that you have he was like, I think you have something, but I think that you are a songwriter, and I think that you're a creator, and I think that you need to develop your skill before you go into this world. And I just was like, okay. I don't know if it was more of a fear thing that I was like, good, because I'm scared as hell, but I just agreed with him. And then I continued to develop my songwriting, and Star Search came up, and that was super easy. I just had to go and audition for that, and I was able to perform on that. But then when The Voice came, it was like I said, a month before that, I had said God dang, I'm not making enough money. I gotta do this music thing. I wish somebody could just like me for me without seeing what I look like, because that was the big backlash I got. I was wearing corduroys and no shoes and tie-dye t-shirts. And I was from Washington.
Super crunchy granola.
Yeah, I know. It's yes, it's Nirvana, and then it was hippy dippy world. Now I was just chilling, and so I was like, I just wish somebody could like me for me. And so then The Voice came literally a month later, and my manager at that time was like, just come try out, please. And I went, and it just was easy.
They turned their chairs.
They did. So I remember you sang this amazing cover of Rollin' in the Deep by Adele, and you guys can all like watch this blind audition. That audition is like obviously still on YouTube, and yeah, I remember you wearing this like cute leather jacket, like your hair was a little bit longer.
It was longer, yeah. And Ellen DeGeneres actually used my blind audition for her show the next day because it's all NBC. So of course she's promoting The Voice the next day, and they used my audition, and then they did a little funny thing with her in a chair.
So did you know going into it that if you got chosen, you wanted CeeLo to be your coach?
It was funny because when they hadn't even finalized all the coaches yet. So when somebody named Blake Shelton came, I was like, who was this? And nobody knew who that was except for like my roommate, Shelley Fairchild, who actually was like, I've been singing backup on his tours, which was really crazy because he didn't turn around for her, but he was like, I know that voice. And he turns around and he's like, oh, and she's like, yep, I'm your backup singer. And yeah. Yeah.
And how long was the whole process doing The Voice?
It was forever for us because it was the first season. So they didn't even know that like the guy who does all the reality shows, Mark
Burnett?
Yes, Mark Burnett.
Yeah.
That, this was a Mark Burnett production, and Mark was just like, let's see how it goes.
He's done The Apprentice, everything. He may even do Survivor too.
Yeah. And the dance, the whatever, all the things that have judges and stuff. And people were just like, he even was coming and having meetings with us and being like, we'll see how this goes. And then literally after the first episode, we became stars. Yeah. Like they were treating us like crap before. They were like, okay, you're lucky that you get, you're in the cattle call. But still they were being like, you guys are artists. They were being really like sincere with us and that, to keep us staying there. And then the first episode happens. They have this many viewers and they were like, bam, here you go. And Mark Burnett started smiling at me and be like, what are you going to sing next, Vicci Martinez? And I'm like, you don't even give a crap about me. You don't like me. And you're way tanner than me. And I'm Mexican.
Is he super tan?
He was so tan.
Some people get tan.
He was living in LA.
Isn't it interesting that The Voice has been on, I don't know how many seasons, but since 2011, and you are the only person that I remember from The Voice. I mean, I stopped watching years ago, but American Idol produced stars, like many, many stars. Like The Voice has been on and gets such high ratings, yet you're the only person I know. Where are the other stars from the show?
That makes me feel good, and I'm just going to just soak in that for 2 seconds. But I don't know. I've kept up.
You still watch The Voice?
Not with The Voice. I mean, I just kept up in my career. Like before The Voice, I was already a performing artist. And so that's how I paid my rent and paid my bills. And so after The Voice, after it was done, even getting signed, it was like, how do I get back to even making the money I was making? Because I was making more money before being signed. Like there were ways that like contracts, negotiations, who's getting a percentage of this and this and that. It was different.
Was the contract a disaster?
No, the Star Search contract, or no, the American Idol contract was. And so that's why when The Voice happened, it was like, okay, this is just a basic contract. It was a 360 deal. And it's like,
what does that mean? What is it?
A 360 deal is we're going to give you everything, but you got to return it. And basically you're getting a leg up because you're going to be on TV, and our job is to market you and sell your songs and make you a big, huge star. And what was funny is the label thought they were going to be able to do that with me, and they couldn't.
Why?
Because of me. Because I think my intention and everything from the beginning was never that. It was just to continue to just keep putting music out there, to just not shock the world, but like maybe make people listen to a lyric and be like, oh, this is how I could think about life, and this is how I could think about myself. Like I always called myself like self-help music, whatever, like, because every song had had a problem or whatever at the beginning, and then at the end there was a solution. Something, even if you walk away with it like, I'm gonna be okay because you're happy. You know, like that was the end of the song. So that intention being there totally was diminished by, you know, a major label and all that. And it was kind of like, okay, how do we sell Vicki? You can't sell me. You just have to shut up and just let me say a bunch of stuff that you think is so dumb for me to say, but actually hits a chord with somebody. And then that's when you keep the fans and the people that are like, okay, this person is for reals.
Did you get a large fan base?
I did.
From the show?
I did. And I got a really loyal fan base.
And you produced a bunch of albums.
I've done that. And I was doing that before. And it was really cool to see these people that saw me from The Voice get those old albums and be like, wow, okay, I get this person. And it's now coming out through Orange. Like, I'm getting, you know, these fans have heard my music, and they're like, wow, I feel sincere with Daddy in a way, but also now it's cool to know that you do this. And it's an interesting place to be. Yeah.
So you're living in Washington. So you're living.
No, we live in New York.
No, I know. I'm telling the story of your lives. I'm shaping the story.
We're in the past.
In the past.
So you're in Washington, you know, making a living as a singer-songwriter. You get this big break on The Voice. You continue to tour. You have this fan base. You're able to tour. And where were you? Like, where did you grow up?
I was born in Tennessee and moved to Texas when I was like 9. Just like a regular white person life, I guess. I don't know.
But were you, I know that you're a singer-songwriter as well. Like, were you, and like, I know like your leanings are more like comedy. I know you went to UCB. So when did you go to college for performing arts?
No, I guess I was always just in choir. From the time I was in like, I don't know, 3rd grade. And then when I went to college, I was studying psychology. I was in Spanish. And then I was going to be a therapist and go to like medical school and maybe study psychiatry. And then my senior year at the University of Texas, I took intro to improv. And it kind of changed everything for me because my family is so funny. And I think that bleeds into your bones. And I realized that improv and sketch and comedy was something I should pursue, even though it seemed really scary to me at the time. But I was like 20.
Did you want to be an actress?
No. I hadn't really ever thought about it. So I went to school and then moved quickly. I was dating a person at the time. And he said, he was a man. He was like, well, I graduated college. And he was like, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, I don't know. I want to make people laugh. And he said, where do you go to do that? And I said, New York, Chicago, Toronto, Los Angeles. And I decided on New York, and I graduated from college in 2004. And then I was here 6 months later studying at UCB. And then we came to visit. We were in an elevator with 2 other girls who were looking at an apartment, and they had Southern accents. I was like, where y'all from? What are y'all doing? Y'all looking for an apartment? They were like, yeah, we're from Georgia. And I was like, can I live with you?
Oh, wow.
And they were like, that's super weird, but maybe, because we can't afford it either. And then I ended up living with them in their hallway.
Where was that?
In their hallway.
The West Village.
The West Village?
Yeah, fancy.
Oh, wow.
I paid $933 a month to live in a hallway.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So I know that you eventually got a break like doing regular bits on Best Week Ever on VH1. How did that? You just auditioned?
I just auditioned, and it was actually kind of weird because I showed up to normally you go to an audition and no one's there. You're just reading for a casting director. They're putting you on tape, blah, blah, blah. I showed up and there were at least 16 people in the room, producers, directors watching you at VH1. And I was like, that actually served me well, because if I'd known that, maybe I would have been weird or I'm an improviser. So to know that I have to improvise goes against the grain for me. But when I got in there, there was I just shined. I just shined. And they kept throwing stuff at me, and then I got hired. And
Was there much improvisation on Orange is the New Black, or is that just like strictly on the page?
depends on if you're,
I mean, not for me.
what's her face?
Who? Natasha?
Natasha.
Oh,
like,
okay.
It depends on, I think, who.
Yeah, I mean, you weren't exactly doing comedy. You were not.
No.
No,
Yeah.
she was not.
I was
Yeah.
deeply depressed for 4 years because not because I wasn't doing comedy, but because I really did live in that character's skin
Yeah.
for a while and didn't know that I was doing that actually.
Yeah.
The character just kept getting darker and sadder and
Yeah.
crazier, and I'm very grateful that they developed that character in that way, because I don't think they really did that for a lot of the guards, because I think the viewership was like, we don't give a shit about these guards. Like, these are the enemies.
Yeah.
Like, these people are the enemies and we don't care about them. So I felt super grateful that they allowed some sympathy and empathy to enter into.
I mean, especially your last season was
Yeah.
like spectacular. Like your arc in the last season. I mean, we're going to get all into like Orange is the New Black, but I just want to say, like, I totally get what you're saying. Yeah.
Thank you. I felt like I had finally done something that the creators and the writers saw as worthwhile to develop, which has never actually happened for me in my comedy career.
Wow.
So I felt like I'm doing something right. They're seeing it and they're wanting to expand it and delve into it, because, you know, they say the tears of a clown. You know, as a comedian, there's a rawness to you, and it all kind of comes from pain, sadly. And because you have to make fun of what makes you sad, or you'll just be sad
Right.
all the time.
Right.
So, yeah.
So when you were doing Best Week Ever, like what was you said like earlier that you just get like a packet of like pop culture topics?
Every week was crazy. We had like 40 pages sent to us every week of, here's the YouTube videos that are going viral. Here's everything that's happening. And here are jokes that we've written, but you are welcome to write jokes for
I wish
yourself.
we were still doing that.
And I was
'Cause we-
like, I'm going to write a million jokes for myself. Like, I love having an assignment.
So you were doing Best Week Ever. You did that for a couple of years. And then were you just like doing commercials, auditioning, like waiting for whatever was going to come?
Yeah, waiting. I'm still waiting.
Yeah.
And not in a bad way. You're waiting for the right thing. And
So the show comes on in like 2013, I think.
Yeah.
And like, were you fans of the show?
I was a huge fan of the show.
Same.
I watched the show. It came out the first year. It came out on my birthday, June 8th. And I was like, I have to watch the show. And then I loved it and loved it. I kind of fell off during season 3 just because content was changing so much, and I just got distracted by 700 million more shows. But I loved the show so much. And then when I got the audition, it's actually a terrible story. I got an audition. I had stayed up too late the night before. I missed my audition
For Orange is the New
for
Black?
Orange is the New Black. It was at 10 a.m. And I woke up at like 10:03. Woke up and was like, I'm not where I'm supposed to be at all. And called my manager and I was like, I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. She was like, they'll see you at 3. And I was like, I love you. And my audition was 3 lines.
What were the lines?
My name is Artesian McCullough. I go by Bambi. No, it was, my name is Bambi, but I go by Artesian. Served 2 tours in Afghanistan, and my last job was I was a chemist's assistant. So we were playing 2 truths and a lie
Okay.
in the scene. So I had to kind
Did
of
they
make
so
a-
you know how you just like went into like that, like the back of your throat?
She just did it.
So did you just make that choice to speak that way, or was that like in the direction?
I just made that choice.
Like what made you, because it's different from your normal voice.
It is. And my friend Stacy told me, like, you hold your complete face differently when you're on the show. She was like, you do something weird with your mouth and your nose, and I don't know what it is. And I was like, is it this? And she was like, yes. For those who can't see me, I did it. From the very limited instruction of who the character was, I just felt like this person is shy and scared and living in a man's world, which I had no idea that she actually was. Like, I knew that she was going into this prison system with a bunch of male guards, but I didn't know her backstory of serving a tour and being, I assumed, surrounded by men.
Okay, so I mean, this is like the day that I meet Emily. Mm-hmm. And it's the last episode of season 6. It's the 13th episode.
Oh, you didn't meet until the third. Well, wait, you know what? Can we get into like how your audition process?
Yeah, we can start with that if you want, but I might lose this.
Okay, share what you're gonna say. So you filmed the whole.
We filmed the whole 6th season,
and we hadn't met until the last episode.
Oh wow!
This last episode, I meet this person. It's the hardest day of work. I mean, it snowed to where we couldn't do our scene, so they sent us home. Of course. To anyone working, they're just like, oh man, this sucks. Like, this is a paid work day. Like, what are we going to do? I'm like, what am I going to do tonight? I'm going to go get a hot dog. And I want some real mustard though. New York. And then this girl goes.
I creeped up and I said, you talking about that French's mustard.
And I just like looked at her and who is this? And then I walked away real fast. And then I walked back. And I was like, hey, what's your name? You know, and it was like, I'm Vicki, I'm Emily, whatever. After that, we became friends.
For 8 minutes.
8 minutes. But in those 8 minutes, she showed me the picture that they did of her burning cigarettes on her leg.
As the character.
And then and this was at lunch at one of the days that we're on set. And I just like, out of the blue, was like, this makes no sense to me. I was like, why are you on set? Why are you even here? You just were at a jail where you were being like totally compromised.
Oh, what she's saying is she didn't understand why during the riot season, why I was back as a guard in the 6th season.
Because as a fan, like I just like totally went into fan mode and I was like, you shouldn't even be back here. This isn't going to make the show that now that I'm on sound stupid. Mm-hmm. And I was pissed. Like, I'm like, I just got to be on the show.
What was the explanation? Like, why you were back?
Basically, they kind of explain it in season 6 that I come back because I have no money. That's why, like, in season 6, you see me like driving Lyft. I think I was a Lyft driver.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. I can't leave. I don't have any money. What am I supposed to do? Like, I'm a veteran, and the veteran that I'm not covered by anything, and like I have to work.
I immediately fell in like, this is my family mode with this person. Like, I just was like, I knew I could say this, and I was like, it makes no sense why you're on, and I want it to make sense why you're on. I was like, I want to be your friend, and I want
you to be on the show and have money, but I don't understand why you're here.
And I was like, no, remember, I wanted you to be my girlfriend on the show. Yes. For the next season. So I went to a writer, the guy that was writing that 13th episode, and I was like, it makes no sense why Emily's back on as an officer, but you should make it make sense. You should give her a backstory, and you should also maybe make it so that she like becomes gay. You should make Emily be gay, and she should be gay with me. And then it's like a like Mexican white person. Like I just totally pitched him.
Who was the writer?
Brian Chamberlain. Yes.
What was the writer's reaction to that?
He went like he literally was like this. Like, yeah, that makes sense.
That was one of the strange things about Orange, that the writers, not strange, but actually good, the writers' room always changed. Like, there was not always a new team of writers, but they brought in new people every year. And he was new on season 5. He was so lovely. And I think the thing that I really love about Vicki is there was another actress on set who was like, you can't just go talk to the writer.
She used to be the person that would be like, Vicki, you can't do this stuff, because I was new to acting. Like, you can't go talk to writers. And so this is the person she's talking about.
But that's so interesting that, I mean, while he didn't put the two of your characters together, he did take the note that you got a backstory. He did flesh out the character.
He wrote my backstory episode.
Wow.
Her backstory
and
episode.
You did eventually, of course, like, I want to talk about the last season, but you had an entire arc with
with
Laura
Alex,
Prepon's
Laura
character.
Preps.
I
Who
mean,
is lovely, by the way.
And that's where I just like to go like this and hold my hand up, because in the world, I know
She wants to take credit for my career.
Yeah.
like I don't. No, I'm not going to take credit for it. I knew.
So how did you wind up on the show?
Me?
Yeah.
Hippy dippy shit.
Tell
Seriously,
me. Tell
like
me.
I literally was.
So you're in Tacoma?
I'm in Tacoma, Washington. I had just invested all of my money into a project that didn't ever see the light of day. It did. We went on The Voice, and that was cool. We have so many other songs that I have not released because I'm just like, I'm getting over some stuff, and I will release them. And when I die, they'll be released for free, whatever. My point is that my intention with these people were the same with like what I have with Emily. It didn't work out, and so I went into a really big, really low. And
Was this like a band you were with?
It was a group that I invested in. It was a production company I was trying to create and make happen. And I went into a lull, and I still meditated and tried to manifest. I know that there's something for me to do in this world. How I got this audition is because of Ruby Rose. That bitch.
Oh. Okay, explain.
I was so jealous of the fact that this person got this role, and her and I were already having the same haircuts. Personally,
Like in your mind,
in my
secretively,
mind,
like
personally, like invested in a different way, knowing that like this person is so gorgeous looking, and I wish I could play the roles. Like when she went on Orange, I was like, damn, I could play that role and I could do it good. And I could totally do it.
So you had an inspiration to start acting.
I had an inspiration, but I led it with jealousy.
Mm-hmm.
And when I finally got rid of that jealousy for Ruby Rose, when I was like, congratulations, I literally meditated on Ruby Rose and was like, congratulations. Like, you deserve this. And what, like, I am going to get what I deserve.
Like, you don't know her. You don't know what she
Yeah,
deserves.
exactly.
But, like, there
Did you
are
ever
those
meet her?
people.
No, never.
Oh, wow.
Literally within a week, I got an email from Orange saying, I don't know if you've ever watched the show Orange is the New Black, but we have a role if you're interested in acting. I don't know if you've ever acted. Like, I swear to God.
Okay, what else did this email say?
It just said like,
Right.
we have, I will let
crazy.
you see it from Jen Houston from casting, like right when I got
So
on
she
the
said,
phone.
we don't know if you act. Well, where'd they find you from?
The internet.
I think they probably, if I
No, she
know
told me.
casting, I think they Google, like, lesbian, short hair, or I think that someone in the writing staff or casting staff knew of Vicki and was like, as soon as that role was written, they were like, find Vicci Martinez.
Well, they must
Because
have known
it's
you from.
actually,
They must have known you
like,
from The Voice.
Maybe
rolling
somebody
the
did. I don't
dice,
even
like,
know the
it's
like
crazy.
true story, but like what I know from Jen is that she literally went on Google and wrote like
Androgynous.
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 Like Kate Menig.
So
Shane.
she wrote
Yeah.
androgynous, Hispanic, lesbian, androgynous,
came up.
Hispanic woman, and I came up. And she's like, I looked up your stuff and I kept following it. My website wasn't even up because I wasn't paying for it because of that money that I had spent on that production company. Like, I didn't have any money. Like, it was the weirdest thing. But I promise that literally after I did a meditation and sat there and just was like, Ruby Rose, congratulations. Not even like it took a couple years for me to get to that place and not be jealous. And I'm not going to say like people, this takes a couple years, but it really does. It takes time to like go into yourself and to be like, what am I jealous of? What do I want? What do I want to be? And like now, now I'm on Orange and I have this thing. But today I meditated and I'm like, what am I thankful for?
So you guys were friends, and then like how long?
We knew each other and we became friends. And then I always say 2 weeks because I literally was like, I was looking at her move and I was dating somebody at the same time and she was dating somebody at the same time. And I was like, this is the person I can spend the rest of my life with though. Mm-hmm. You know, like, and that's where like I told that person like, this isn't going to work. Like, I'm watching my friend be somebody I want to like touch my head the rest of my life. We did a show together.
I sang one song with her.
So you started like playing music together.
When I met her on set, I had no idea like about any of her musical history. I thought she was totally crazy. I was like, this girl's weird. Everyone thinks she's weird, but
I'm
I can't
intense. I go
stay
and talk
away.
to directors and tell them what they should do.
But I didn't care because I knew that doesn't matter actually in the long run. So she was like, did you know that I sing? And I was like, no, I didn't know anything about that. And then she played a song on her phone, like on YouTube, and I started harmonizing. And she was like, oh, you can sing. I have a show next week. Will you come sing this song with me? And so I said, yeah. And then we sang that song, and then we went. It was at Rockwood. So I said, you have a show next week. I'm coming to sing a song with you. You need to come over, and we need to sing the song and film it, and we'll put it on Instagram, and we'll tag our place and send a link for people to buy tickets. And she came over, and we did that, and then people showed up for our show, and then I just sang one song with her, and then we started writing songs together after that, like, and songs that I don't think at the time that we knew were about us.
Oh, I did.
I didn't. I mean, I think I did know I was singing. I was writing songs about what I hoped our future would be. Yeah, that's what I did. But I was like pretending at the same time, like, we're just writing love songs about random people. Then we started doing shows together. And then she, of course, came from Seattle to live in New York.
Yeah, were you living in like temporary housing?
She had Airbnbs and all that stuff to come film Orange. And then the show was done, and I was like,
the show or the season was done?
The season was done.
Okay.
Season 6 was done, and
we were in love.
I didn't want her to go away, so
I stayed.
I was like, she was like, I'll, let me stay here for 2 weeks, and then I'll get a new Airbnb. I was like, yeah. You live here now.
Oh my God.
And
where do you guys live?
Sunnyside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that was an easy, because they shot in Queens.
Astoria. Yeah. Right there, like across.
But it's
the little
funny.
bridge.
I only had to go to set one day because I died in the next season.
You sadly did. You unfortunately did die.
You did die.
You did
So
die.
it's like, cool, we live
And
in
those
Queens
weren't
together
her
now, and I
feet.
can't wait to go to work. And I'm like, oh.
Who were aside from each other, who were you guys, I guess, separately, like, closest to? Who are your best friends from the cast?
I would say my best friend from the cast is Beth Dover, who plays Linda from Purchasing. Yes. And then Leah Zalaria is a very close friend of both of ours.
I went to the Valentine's Day show that she did at Joe's Pub.
Yes.
And you guys performed.
Buck Love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
That was really fun.
I absolutely loved you guys performed I Drive Myself Crazy by NSYNC. Whose idea was that?
That was my idea.
Had you ever performed it before?
No.
That was okay. That you should film and put on YouTube and like put on your Instagram.
I had a list because Leah said, she actually wanted us to do it the year before, but we were busy. But we wrote a list of basically love gone wrong songs. And I was like, we have to sing this NSYNC song. Like, it's going to be a bunch of gay people. Like, it's going to be so wonderful. Like, we have to sing NSYNC. And then Leah had said, how about you guys do Goodbye Earl? And I was like, no, we're doing NSYNC. And then she put it in the show anyways, and we sang it with her, which was really fun.
Yeah, that's my new favorite song.
And
yes.
we actually played it the next night when we did our Rockwood show.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
the Dixie Chicks have a new album coming out.
Yeah.
Do they?
So who are each of your each of your like musical influences? Like, who did you love growing up?
The Beatles. And I'm going to be lame and just like fast forward Dave Matthews Band.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't be ashamed of
I just want to have a band
that millions of people love.
It's not even that I cared so much about Dave Matthews. It was more that like I want to have that band.
Like, were you guys into like
Selena?
Oh, Selena?
We were. I was very into Selena.
That's cool.
I was really into Gwen Stefani, and I said something bad about Gwen Stefani the other day, and I still feel bad about it.
Bum, bum. What did
I
you
said,
say?
she's so Coca-Cola when I need her to be squirt.
Said,
Does that
when I
make
need her to
any
be
sense to
Pepsi.
you?
No,
Because
I
I feel like she was so... I can't say anything bad about her, actually. I shouldn't. Please delete this. I just take it out. I love her. I loved...
She's just a girl in the world.
Like, did you love like Sarah McLachlan, Fiona Apple?
I did. I loved both of them.
Fumbling Towards
Jewel.
Ecstasy. Jewel.
I love Jewel.
Jewel was my
oh
first
gosh,
concert.
Kill me, Jewel. What's Jewel doing?
That's a good question.
What is she doing?
She snaggled.
I feel like she was... No, she
I think
changed her
I think
teeth.
she fixed it.
I feel like Jewel was judging a country music contest show for a while.
Yeah, I remember that.
Or
But
something.
you said Sarah McLachlan first.
Yeah.
Why?
Why?
I love Sarah McLachlan.
Because why did I say Sarah McLachlan
I
first?
want to know why.
Because
First.
here's why. Because we're all around the same age, and that's who I was really into during like my formative years, like high school. That's the music.
Sweet surrender
Oh, like Ani DeFranco.
is all I to give. Everybody.
I
has
will make
Ani
this really
DeFranco.
quick. I saved my lunch money for 8 months because I knew I was going to Ani DeFranco so that I could buy every bit of merch that she had. I have every Ani DeFranco t-shirt. I have, Case Logic, the CD cases. I have a separate Case Logic that's just Ani. And I feel good about it. I feel great about it. Are you mad at me?
And I love how Leah Delaria refers to you guys as the
Lilith Fair.
as Lilith Fair. It's the best.
She
The
can't
best.
help it. And my best friend Cassie, my number one top best friend Cassie from high school, has Ani DeFranco's. So Ani DeFranco has like a tribal tattoo on her clavicle, and Cassie has it on her butt.
Okay, wait. Speaking of tattoos, is that your real tattoo?
Yes,
Okay, well, so
they won't be able to see it.
So I was, so when I told my friend that I had seen you guys the night before, she was like, the one with the big back tattoo, and I was like, yeah, and I remember seeing it at Joe's Pub. So, how old were you when you got that tattoo, and like, what is it, and what was the inspiration?
I'll tell you. One of my good friends from Texas had tattoos, and I was like a person that was like, I'll never get tattoos. And then I was like, guess what? Now I'm a person who wants them. So I got all of my tattoos after I left Texas because I felt so homesick living in that hallway for $933 a month.
In the West Village.
In the West Village. Worth it. And then I begged my parents to fly me home every month to go back to Texas because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here. Every month, once a month. I know I'm a little bitch. So I went back and got this Texas tattoo, and it's a heart with like a little banner across the middle of it that says Texas, and then 2 6-shooters, revolvers, which now I feel like is extremely inappropriate given my stance on guns. It just is a thing that I did, and luckily I
Would you
did
cover it up, or like would you like do something with the guns if it bothered you?
I have an idea. I think the only thing that I could do is through outside of the barrel, like a flower that shoots out, like the old cartoons. I think I'm screwed, is what I think. So then after that, I decided I wanted roses around it, way smaller than the tattoo artist made them. And then I went to a pool in Queens, and a young person came up to me and he said, "Oh my gosh, I love your Ed Hardy tattoos." And I wanted to kill myself, but I didn't. And then I realized that I have guns
Well, I'll
and
tell you.
roses.
You do have guns and roses. Yeah. That's amazing. And now you feel good about it?
No, I hate it more than ever. But anyways, I'm covered in tattoos on my back, and I don't have to see them every day.
The people at Orange is the New Black obviously loved that. They loved the visualization of them because they were featured. So, I mean, well, first of all, you did an entire season in your underwear. How was that?
It was terrible. They called me and said, "Okay, so how are you with nudity and blah, blah, blah. And I said, I'm not okay with it. This was 2 weeks before we started filming. They said, here's the nudity clause, basically. But this is after I signed the contracts. So if it had happened before, there would have been possibly, for sure, more financial compensation. But they didn't tell me that, and that's okay, because why would they? I wouldn't. So the only reason I was upset was I was like, can you tell me so that I can stop eating this hoagie?
Right. Exactly.
Like, can I lose 8 pounds per day in 8 minutes? Like, it, and then I just showed up and my body was my body and it was fine. And the way that I justified it is I said, people will be watching the show and it might make people feel good to just see a normal looking body.
Absolutely.
But you also looked amazing.
For a big fat tub of lard.
No.
No, but that's how I justified it, and it did actually make me feel good.
So you guys got together on set. There had to have been other couples. I mean, I know Samira Wiley and Lauren Morelli, the writer, like they got together like in the early years of the show before her character, Poussey, unfortunately died. Were there other couples had to have come out of the show. In fact, Leah DeLaria made a joke about it during her show on Valentine's Day.
What did she say?
I think she said, just kind of commenting that like it was like couples would pop up all the time.
Yeah. Do you think that was a comment on couples happening or people going gay?
Ooh.
Because I feel like that's like a thing that people say is like that show turns you gay, which I have had comments on that. Like,
what do you mean? I mean, like before you, Vicki, you were out when you were doing The Voice. So when you guys,
Vicki is my first relationship with a female.
Okay.
Relationship.
So
not encounter.
That could have been Leah making a joke about this show makes people gay.
No. I don't think
Orange
that
is the New
Leah
Black
said that.
doesn't make anybody gay.
No. Leah didn't say that. That's just something that has been in.
Have people said that to you?
Yes. Yeah. No, I think that people don't understand sexuality. And I think people really love to put things in categories and compartmentalize. And I've been with women, girls.
Yeah.
Because we were girls.
Yeah.
I've been with both genders, more so girls before I was with boys to men.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that has been kind of tossed around the cast or around the production of like.
Can I say one name?
Yes.
And then if you guys don't want to comment on it, it's fine.
Yeah.
So Taylor Schilling never came out publicly, but she's been in these very well publicized relationships. Carrie Brownstein, probably the most notable. Was that something that was discussed on set? Like, there was a cast of like, you had to have had like upwards of.
It was never discussed. Mm-hmm. And I think that stuff like that is so personal. I wish it wasn't.
What was the cast's reaction when they found out that you guys were together?
Zero.
They loved it.
No one cared. Oh, what? I think not that no one cared, but I think that it was past the point of her death.
Yeah. I was dead on the show already.
Died
so they were like,
happened.
whatever happens. But honestly, like
anybody that reacted
I think it would have been fine.
Anybody that reacted was super happy and.
I mean, I think I definitely know it would have been fine because we still would have been able to execute whatever scenes we had to do. I felt so comfortable that scene that I had to do that before I died. Like it's a year into like acting for me, and so like I was more comfortable. And I have Emily, who I'm living with, that like I'm running lines with her for her stuff.
Did it freak you guys out at all when like articles would come out about you guys being together?
No. That's interesting because the articles came out before I had told my family. So the articles came out before I told my family, and I kind of thought, and was correct in many ways, that they wouldn't see them. I knew that my parents wouldn't, because they're like, you know, parents. But my dad would. I'm sure my dad Googles me every day. But I waited a while to tell them, and it was actually really hard at first. But their reaction was quickly incredible. And my brother was, he was like, yeah, I have a phone and I have a computer.
Right.
Like, I saw, like, there's an article about you guys. Like, I really couldn't have had a better coming out situation than what I had, because they are terrified of me and they want to make me happy, and they were scared to say anything bad ever.
Yeah.
I love that. So my last Orange is the New Black little fun fact for you. So when you guys came in, of course, my dog Piper is here. And
That sounds like...
so what I wanted to tell you, so Piper is 6.5 years old, or maybe she's about to turn 7. During the week that led up to us getting Piper, that was the week that we were binging season 1 of Orange is the New Black, and we accidentally like found Piper, and when we were like, oh my God, I love this dog, and we were like, what's her name? And my partner was like, Piper.
I get it.
Yeah, Piper. So it's all because of Orange is the New Black.
That's so awesome.
Taylor, you're a bitch.
Where can people find you guys online?
At Emily Tarver and at Vicci Martinez, Vicci Martinez, not Vicky or Vicki. It's Vicci Martinez at Vicci Martinez.
And you guys will plug all your upcoming shows.
Yeah, on
accounts?
Instagram and Twitter, and Vicki
Yeah,
does
and I'm gonna try to
Facebook.
get Vicci Martinez. I just paid for it on Who Is the billing thingy. So
GoDaddy.com.
Yeah, GoDaddy. VicciMartinez.com is still alive. There will be content up there soon one day.
Thank you guys so much. And you can also watch you guys perform on YouTube. You can find me, Jess X NYC, and we will see you soon. Thanks, guys.